Moving forward to the next area of law, we're going to go over homicide. Homicide is the killing of a human by another human. I want you to know that there are basically two types of homicide. There is murder and there's manslaughter. Now, going over murder, there are actually 4 different types of murder. There is, number 1, intent to kill murder. Number 2, felony murder. Number 3, intent to commit serious bodily injury murder. And depraved heart murder. Once again, there are 4 types of murder. Number 1, intent to kill murder. Number 2 is felony murder. Number 3 is intent to commit serious bodily injury murder. And number 4 is depraved heart murder. Let's discuss them in order. First of all, we have intent to kill murder. The definition for intent to kill murder is intent to kill with premeditation and deliberation. Again, intent to kill murder, the definition is intent to kill with premeditation and deliberation. So the murder in the first degree for intent to kill, there's basically 3 elements. Let's go over those. Number 1, the intent to actually kill. Number 2, the premeditation, which basically is some thought before the killing of the act of killing the person. Again, the premeditation is some thought that went into the act to commit the murder. And number 3, deliberation. Deliberation requires an act that is done in cold blood, meaning that it was not an impulsive act. It was something that they had to slow down and they deliberated about actually doing it. Deliberation could actually happen in literally just a few moments. I want you to know that it doesn't take a sitting down and planning a murder out. It can happen very quickly. So for example, let's say a guy comes in and finds his wife in bed with another man, and he just looks at them and just is stunned. He's in shock. He turns around, he walks out, he goes into the garage, he sits there and he thinks about it for 3 or 4 minutes and mentally decides he's going to go back in and he's going to kill them. That would be murder in the first degree. I'm going to give you some other facts later on down the line, how we can get to involuntary manslaughter in a similar situation as that, okay? The second type of murder that we have is called felony murder rule. Now I'm going to give you the rule of law, or the definition for the felony murder rule. It's a general intent crime. I want you to know that. They don't have the specific intent to kill for someone to be found guilty of first degree murder under the felony murder rule. The definition of felony murder rule is an unintentional killing that occurs during the commission of an inherently dangerous felony. I want you to know there are 2 elements that we must find in order to find somebody guilty of felony murder. Those 2 elements are, number 1, the killing must occur during the commission of a dangerous felony. And number 2, the felony must be one of the following felonies. I'm going to go over those with you. They are burglary, arson, rape, robbery, kidnapping, or by statute, when someone kills a law enforcement officer, someone can be found guilty of felony murder. Remember, the underlying felony must be proved in order for the defendant to be found guilty of felony murder rule. Also, once they are at a place of safety and the crime has been completed, if someone is killed later on down the line, then the felony murder rule will not apply. So let's say, for example, A and B rob a bank. They get to their safe house and the robbery's over, the police are not chasing them. 10 hours later, B decides to go out to the liquor store to go get some booze or something. And as he's going out to go get something, he runs somebody over in the crosswalk. Is he going to be found guilty of felony murder rule? No, because he is no longer in the act of committing the felony. Let's give you an example where he would be. Let's say he is robbed a bank. A and B robbed a bank. They're driving and they're being chased by the police. And in the commission of the crime, as they're being chased by the police, they hit another car and kill somebody in that car. In that particular instance, are they going to be held guilty for felony murder rule? Absolutely yes. They are in the commission of the crime. They just committed a robbery, which is one of the inherently dangerous felonies. They will absolutely 100% be found guilty of felony murder rule in a situation like that. Okay, I'm going to go over some limitations to the felony murder rule, and I'm going to give you the general rule. The general rule is when a co-felon kills a victim, the felony murder rule will apply to all co-felons. Okay, again, when a co-felon kills a victim, the felony murder rule will apply to all co-felons. I want you to look to see who commits the murder. Is it a co-conspirator? Is it a police officer? Or is it an innocent bystander? So if there's a killing that occurs and it is done by someone other than a co-felon, an innocent person, like someone who is trying to protect themselves and they accidentally kill somebody else, or the police who are trying to stop the robbery from happening, and in the melee of all of the action that's going on, an innocent person is killed. We have a special felony murder rule when an innocent person actually kills the victim. And that says, at common law, all of the co-felons were liable for the death. Common law. So remember, you have to be careful. What are they asking you for? Are they asking you specifically for common law, or are they asking you for the model penal code? So the model penal code and the majority, and what you want to answer on the MBE, says under the special felony murder rule, it says it's actually called the red line rule. It's known as the red line rule. It says if an innocent person kills a co-felon, courts will not apply the felony murder rule on the other co-felons. Again, under the special felony murder rule, if an innocent person kills another co-felon, the courts will not apply the felony murder rule on the other co-felons. The rationale is that the felony murder rule is designed to protect innocent victims, and a co-felon obviously is not an innocent victim. So I want you to know also, however, when an innocent person is killed by another innocent person, then the felony murder rule will apply to all co-felons, okay? Again, when an innocent person kills another innocent person during the commission of a crime, felony murder will apply to all co-felons in that situation. I want you to know that all other murder is basically murder in the second degree. So let's go over murder in the second degree, which is our third type of murder, and that is murder with intent to commit serious bodily injury. Again, it's murder with intent to commit serious bodily injury. It is a general intent crime. We don't need the specific intent to actually kill somebody. We just need the intent to commit the act. It's as if we infer a bad state of mind on somebody. So let me give you a definition. An unintentional killing caused by the defendant who intended to cause serious bodily injury to the victim. Once again, murder with intent to commit serious bodily injury, it's a general intent crime, and the rule is it's an unintentional killing caused by the defendant who intended to cause serious bodily injury to the victim. Let me give you an example of intent to commit serious bodily injury murder. Let's say A and B like the same girl, and A finds out that B is going on a date with her. A doesn't want him to go on a date with her, so he decides he's going to wait outside his house and hit him with the bat and break his leg. He doesn't want to kill him, he just wants to hurt him so that he can't go on the date with the cute girl. When he hits him with the bat, he goes into shock. B goes into shock and he dies from going into shock. In an instant like that, that is an intent to commit serious bodily injury. Therefore, A killed B when he intended to commit serious bodily injury on B. Therefore, A is then guilty of murder under the intent to commit seriously bodily injury murder.